providing expanded access for their offerings. During last year, during 2009, our community colleges served almost 250,000 students in our state. Business and industry play an important role in training the workforce of the future and meeting the ongoing demands of the marketplace. Many community colleges are already working with businesses to develop programs and classes ranging from degree or certified training courses for retraining and ongoing training for enhancing skills, but increasing enrollments and limited resources are affecting the capacity to expand their efforts. And that's one of the challenges, I think, in front of all of us. As we know, the President has been very supportive of community colleges, recognizing their pivotal role in the renewal of our economy and growing the skills of the nation's workforce, particularly for new and emerging occupations and the workforce of tomorrow. There are numbers of examples of a successful collaboration between community and technical colleges and apprenticeship programs. The development of course of study to complement a rigorous apprenticeship training program for the middle and high-skilled occupations is an immense and costly long-term investment for a community college, and securing fundings for enhanced capacity at community colleges, particularly in occupational training areas, is a pressing need. Career and technical education programs can be significantly more costly to operate than other programs in our community college system. New York recommends that the federal funding be made available to specifically target, cultivate blended apprenticeship training and associate degree programs. Funds are needed to support job task analysis, develop competency-based curriculum, recruit and hire faculty, develop and validate competency-based assessments, conduct evaluations, and foster national replication. This is an important area where we're going to need additional resources to move the system forward. There also needs, in our opinion, to be an apprenticeship plus approach. As apprentices become journey workers, the next logical step in their careers would be to move into supervisory or project management positions. Again, the community colleges are well equipped to provide this type of instruction, which, coupled with gradually increased levels of managerial responsibility on the job, can provide additional levels of apprenticeship certification in the existing trades, and also offers a career pathway even for journey level individuals. Improving existing apprenticeship efforts. All apprenticeship recruitment should be posted in the job bank and in the one-stop system, in our opinion. This can connect potential applicants with other avenues to find employment if not immediately selected for an apprenticeship program. As we know, names can remain on the rank list for up to a 2-year period. So during that waiting period, people can connect with jobs and services, including other training and skills attainment through the one-stop system and our resource rooms. Applicants who are not apprenticeship ready can be directed to resources that may help them become ready to enter the apprenticeship programs, pre-apprenticeship programs, ESL, GED courses, etc. Applicants can be connected with other remedial training, possibly provided through the Workforce Investment Act and other partners, to increase basic literacy and again make them more viable candidates for the apprenticeship system. The one-stop system will receive credit for these positive outcomes in terms of the WIA outcomes and entered employment, retention, average earnings, for example. Develop pre-apprenticeship standards, another important step in our opinion from New York State. Determine if the National Work Readiness Credential, for example, could serve as a baseline coupled with sector industry-specific competencies in order to position individuals to enter apprenticeship efforts. We need to encourage USDOL to provide funding to pre-apprenticeship programs as the entree to the registered apprenticeship efforts. And develop initiatives to connect apprenticeships to career ladders via direct entry. Some of the things we're working on. Look forward to the discussion over the next few days. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. Yeah, go ahead, clap. Excellent. Next, I'm going to call on John Healy, Training Director, Sheet Metal Workers Local 17 Training Center. John?
Okay, some of the things we're working on are partnered with over the years, and I'm speaking now for the Building Trade Training Directors Association. We do the WANTO program every year, a couple times a year, and we partner with the public and the businesses. The Massachusetts Division of Apprenticeship Training, Jill Hauser from the Office of Apprenticeship Department of Labor. We partner with Winthrop Institute, UMass, the City of Boston, the Foundation for Fair Contract, and Mount Washington Bank. It's a 5-week program, 130 hours. And it brings 16 women together. And that's been a very good success for us, partnering with all those people. And it's been a success because of those people that get involved with it. It gets them ready. It's almost like a pre-apprenticeship program for the training directors to get them into their facilities. Another thing for the sheet metal workers, speaking for myself, this year we partnered with the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, and we secured a grant for our apprentices to be trained in testing and balancing. We're going to be building a testing and adjusting balancing laboratory in our training center. So we're going to run 222 apprentices through that program and make them a certified technician in that. So that was a big plus, and we actually partnered up with our contractor group, SMACNA, the Sheet Metal Air Conditioner Contractors Association. And that would not have been possible if it wasn't for partnering up with my contractor association. So that was a good plus. And the other thing that comes into mind, which was, I think, a big, huge improvement for the whole state, for that matter of fact, was the articulation agreement between Local 17, the sheet metal workers, and the Massachusetts high schools. We partnered up with them and the Division of Apprenticeship Training, Dave Wallace, the director, and we signed a statewide articulation agreement to give those kids that go into metal fab or sheet metal, they get a year's credit when they come into our program. So that was huge. Any of these programs here very depend, the success depends on partnering up and having the great success that we've had. So that's kind of what we've been doing over the last year or two.
Okay, thank you, John. Let's hear it for John. Okay. Now, I've saved Phoebe Riles to last, and that's not because she's least, of course, but because she is an apprentice and has probably a different perspective on this, I'm sure, than most of us. I've prepared the panel that our apprentice usually steals the show, that we usually have the most interest in what the apprentice is going to say, because after all, that's what we are about, and that's why we're here. We're here to make a difference in the lives of our people, our apprentices, workers, our workforce. So, Phoebe, I'm going to ask you if you could tell us a little bit about your story, how you came into apprenticeship, your whole experience with it, and why don't we start there?
Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So I can actually speak a little bit to the benefits of collaboration because I got into the United Brotherhood of Carpenters 4-year apprenticeship program through a pre-apprenticeship program called New Non-Traditional Employment for Women. I'm pretty sure they're actually here from New York at some point during this conference. So because I was able to get into that program, I was then well prepared to enter the UBC apprenticeship, because apprenticeship is a job, and so I think pre-apprenticeship was for me, and I think for many people, incredibly valuable because it's preparing you to be impressive your first day on the job, and we all know how important that is. And then, let's see. So I got into Local 926 in New York. I did new 6-week pre-apprenticeship training for women into non-traditional industries. And they have a really great working relationship with the carpenters. So I was able to get into the Carpenters Union within about 2 weeks of graduating from non-traditional employment for women. This is 3 years ago, so the job market was a little bit better then, but it's because they have a partnership relationship with the carpenters, and the carpenters know that the women that New sends them are going to succeed on the job, and because of that, they're happy to usher us in. So, there's a 3-year waiting list for, that regular list to get into the UBC apprenticeship in New York, or there was at that time, just about. And I was in 2 weeks, so that definitely speaks to the value of doing pre-apprenticeship. And I did 1 year in Local 926 in Brooklyn, and then decided to move up here because I'm from here. I grew up in Brookline, which is right outside of Boston, and I moved home. My mother is disabled, and she's actually one of the reasons that I joined the apprenticeship program to begin with. I graduated from UMass Amherst in 2006, and I majored in African American Studies, which is a wonderful thing to study. I enjoyed myself immensely and was planning on going on to do nonprofit work. However, what I learned in my kind of job application process was that I wasn't going to make enough money. I knew within a couple of years I was going to need to be able to support my mother at home in Boston, either by bringing her to New York or by me going home. And I knew that I could maybe start at $30,000 a year, or maybe 35 if I was lucky, and within 2, 3, 4 years I might be up to 50. You know, if I worked 60 hours a week, you know, I'm sure you guys know, but all my friends work in nonprofits, so, you know, I know. And as of right now, most of my friends, I make more money than any of them who I graduated college from. So that also speaks to the value of apprenticeship and the technical skills. So basically, I moved up here, transferred to Local 40, you know, because it's a national program. My credits transferred. I was able to transfer locals. It wasn't too difficult, a lot of paperwork, but, you know, that's about it. And was able to start work right away here. So I'm actually in my 4th year, which is my last year of apprenticeship. I am able to pay all of my mother's bills, which is great, and she's doing really well. And you know, I think the thing that has been most valuable for me, aside from, you know, my own personal stability and my family benefiting, has been that I do have a career, you know, and I do have a job that I feel like I can move forward with, you know, and I don't just, it's not that I have to move forward at a snail's pace either. I'm learning something new at work every day, and also, you know, because of the UBC's constant collaboration with their industry partners, the contractors whom we work for and that kind of thing, you know, they're always offering new classes, encouraging us to take them to try to stay ahead of the curve as far as the industry, because that's how we stay competitive, you know. Everybody knows union labor costs more, so the only way we can stay competitive is by providing better skilled workers, right? And so I showed up for my 1 week of school. 4 weeks a year we get taken away from our job to go to 1 week of training. And I showed up for my 1 week of school to find out that I was in green building, which was the really exciting first time that this curriculum had been taught. Is going to be new required curriculum for all the Boston area apprentices. And, you know, so far it's an amazing class. Not only is it one of the elements that you need to become a LEED certified professional in the federal program, but it's also just to keep us, you know, one step ahead of the curve as far as, you know, where are the jobs in the future going and that kind of thing. So for me, it's been a really fabulous experience, and, you know, I do feel very grateful, have a wonderful career ahead of me, and I feel like I have lots of opportunity to grow, you know. So, thank you.
Excellent. That's quite an eye-opener. Degree from Amherst, and became a registered apprentice. Phoebe, what advice do you have for those of us in this room who are struggling to collaborate, to create apprenticeship programs, expand them into non-traditional areas? Anything that you have to offer in the way of advice?
I'm not sure about advice, but hopefully motivation, because hopefully, you know, you can see from my experience how valuable it is. I think that, you know, apprenticeship is a really unique opportunity. I'm sure all of us know that, you know, your kids or your friends, you know, are struggling under the burdens of student loan debt, you know, and, you know, apprenticeship is one of those few opportunities where it is a job and you're working and you're learning while you're working. And the kind of collaboration that my understanding everybody is here today to work on is the kind of thing that provides these networking opportunities, you know, for people like me, you know, to get, you know, one step ahead.